The roaring game. We all love it, but sometimes curling just isn't as fun as it can be on the Nintendo Switch. Don't get stuck in your curling club this year. Learn the game inside and out. Play for your favorite country and take the curling world by storm. With up to 4 players per console, you can enjoy curling with your friends and family anywhere, anytime. Let's play curling. Available now only on Nintendo Switch.
We're for agriculture, for growers, doers, whatever it takers. We're for doing things with purpose. We're for the little guy with big guy dreams. We're for agriculture. We're for you. Nutrien Ag Solutions, leading the field.
Good evening. Excuse me. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to SaskTel Curling Stadium's continuing live coverage from the IG Wealth Management Western Showdown in Swift Current. Play began here yesterday morning. 16 teams vying for one of 8 berths in the championship round. We've got our first 2 playoff teams already determined. The A qualifiers earlier today, this morning, was Nicholas Edin. Just this afternoon, Jacques Gauthier defeating Colton Flasch. Flasch back on the ice here tonight in this matchup against Kody Hartung. This is a B event qualifier. 3 games on tap tonight, all of those B event qualifiers. So the 3 winners tonight will move into the playoffs as well. Playoff round beginning 7 o'clock tomorrow night. There will be draws at 10 and 2 tomorrow as well to determine the final 3 qualifiers. Teams had a practice session before the game started, and they throw draw to the button to determine who's got last rock in the first end of play. It was Kody Hartung winning the draw to the button, so he's got last rock here. Throwing the yellow stones. And we're into second stones now, and the Hartung team with a substitution here this weekend. This is Aaron Schutra throwing the second stones, subbing in place of Brady Scharbeck. Brady Kendall is the lead on the left as we look at it. Tyler Hartung throws the third stones. He's the one brushing. And Kody Hartung in the house. He throws the skip stones. Colton Flasch team also playing out of Saskatoon, the defending Saskatchewan Brier champions, and they will certainly be amongst the favorites going into provincials again this year. You've got the twins on the front end. This is the second. Kevin Marsh, Daniel Marsh, the brother, throws the lead stones. Catlin Schneider in the white playing third stones, and Colton Flasch the skip. And they do have both colors uniforms. I had a chance to watch one of their earlier games, and I noticed Catlin was wearing the whites then when everybody else was wearing the blacks. They didn't have necessarily their strongest game this afternoon. They played really well in the earlier game, and already I'm wondering, is this curler superstition where Catlin Schneider had to switch to the whites because he had a better game in the white? Three rocks in play, all belonging to Colton Flasch. There's shot rock, corner of the button, and just drove the run back by it. 2 guards. Now one of them yellow, just off the center line. Colton Flasch will look to throw another guard. These 2 teams know each other very well. Have played plenty of games at the provincial level in the last few years, and both tour the World Curling Tour events quite extensively. And of course, Aaron Schutra subbing in this weekend for Kody Hartung, longtime teammate of the Marsh brothers, going back to their days in juniors, I believe. Catlin Schneider with the guard. Kody Hartung again looking for the run back, and it's Case of you either make the run back or you roll off. Younger brother Tyler with the hit, drives it back just across that stone, but clips it and enough to drive it out of play. So nothing in the rings now, still 3 guards. Nothing on the center line, but both protecting a piece of the forefoot, or protecting a piece of forefoot on both sides. A double guard, the one tighter to the rings, does belong to Colton Flasch. So opting to come around that one and looking to come around it from the wide side. Still a lot of room by the guards. If you've been with us all weekend, you know that these rocks will move big coming into the house as they slow down. Maybe a little strong there. Comes to the back 8 foot, but does bury. Kody looking at trying to come down and first indication was to tap it, but with that ice, thinking maybe just straight freeze. Again, a lot of room by the guard. Sweeping for a little extra curl now. Has to get to the face if he's going to get shot rock. Well, good job on the brush. They waited as long as they could for that. Gets just enough curl to get shot rock out of it. Still, it's right just behind the tee line, so enough room for Colton Flasch to come down, sit on the face just perhaps to the inside corner and get shot rock. Still looking at playing it from the wide side. Talked briefly about coming through the middle. Nothing out of the brushers early. And looking for the sweep from the offside, looking to make it curl now. So still lots of room by the guards. It does look like it's got a little bit tighter line than the Hartung stone did coming in. Colton Flasch with an outstanding draw with his first. Gets to the inside corner of that yellow. Sits shot rock, and now his stone splitting the tee line. Very hard for Kody Hartung to come on the wide side and still get shot rock. So he's going to play from the middle, see if he can sit on the inside corner of that red. Try to get shot rock, see if he can't set up his deuce here. Kody Hartung, his first stone here in the opening end with last rock. Facing one Flasch counter, corner of the forefoot, looking to corner freeze. Has to wait for it to get off his own corner guard. Now really starting to move. Brushers had to wait for this. Still has the weight to get into the corner of that forefoot. Sits shot rock. Colton Flasch discussing the options. He's a little bit of trouble right now. Hard to make a move on that stone. Freezing in front of it, you're not going to be shot rock. If you play to move it, you're apt to touch your own, and you don't have to move it very far before the yellow at the back of the yellow that's behind it could be sitting second shot. There's a good look at it from the overhead. You can see that just the way that yellow-red is angled, if you touch the red, it's probably going over the top of the back yellow. And very tough if you look at it from the hack end. That rock is almost half buried. You've got to get to the face of it if you're going to push it by the red without moving it over. You probably make that as a draw. It's very tough to get there with the weight he's going to need to move it. So Colton Flasch with his final stone here in the first end without last rock. Facing one. Looking to try to move it through the forefoot. This is really moving towards the guards, and I'm not sure he's got the weight to move it either. Great job by the brushers to hold the line, but only enough weight to nudge it up a couple of inches. Kody Hartung sitting one, a chance to draw for the deuce. He's going to have to go wide out turn around the corner guard, I would think, unless he thinks he can come through the middle the other way. We always talk about the fact that the teams have a chance to practice before the game starts, so they have had chances to throw draws, but so much of it is geared towards the draw to the button. So here in the first end, when he has to go wide around that guard, this may well be the first rock that's been thrown down this path. It's always a little bit of a guess on the weight here, but he's got 1 point in his back pocket now. Needs full four with this draw to pick up the deuce. Brushers picking up the sweep now. He's got room by the front one. Just a matter of putting it on the tee line now. He's got the line to have full forefoot. Kody Hartung, an outstanding pair of draws with his two stones here in the first end. Picks up 2 points. He'll take the 2-0 lead. Colton Flasch will have last rock in end number 2.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Had some questions about if our houses are painted or are they logo. Our events are always painted houses, but in the future coming out, I'm pretty sure we're going to be going to all logo houses. They're a great revenue source for any curling club. You can get your advertisements on there, and usually after the first year, the houses are paid for. It's all free money for you. So hopefully check Jet Ice out for your future in-house logos.
Second end underway with a 2-0 lead. Kody Hartung pulls the first stone into the top of the button. The Flasch team with the corner guard. You then see Brady Kendall put the center guard on shot rock, and now Daniel Marsh being asked to come down to it, sit on the corner of that shot stone. Nicely done by Daniel Marsh. Sits right on the corner of that. Leaves a bit of an angle. Not a lot of room between them. Might even be touching. Hard to tell from the overhead. Aaron Shutra playing this year primarily with Michael Kars, another team that having a strong season on the Saskatchewan curling tour circuit, and possibility to be at provincials as well. Jumping up to help sweep as Brady Kendall had stepped off the surface for a moment, but you see him there coming back now. Just rubs the guard on the way by. At nice weight, still ends up on the tee line. Looks to be, well, I'm not going to say it's definitely Hartung sitting shot. Hard to say who's second right now. Sweeper's backing away a little bit from this one now, really starting to curl. It's a question of the weight. I think they're playing a plan B. Trying to chisel off it, sit in front of the other yellow, and that's a pretty good result. I think the Flasch stone has to be sitting second now. Hartung still shot, and third. The angles in the house looking pretty good for Colton Flasch right now. So Aaron Shutra being asked to come down and sit in the middle of the two reds. And the rushers pick this one up right away. Rubbed the guard on his first attempt. This one's really coming toward the guard as well. He's going to get by the front one. I don't think he's going to be in the pocket of the two reds, though. Looks like it's awful close to the face. Actually, if anything, just crosses it a hair. Nudges it up to contact the yellow. Hartung sitting one. Flasch is second. Kevin Marsh being asked to put one on the corner of the yellow if he can. Get a stone on the corner of the yellow one that Aaron Schutra just threw. And any kind of contact with this red stone would send both yellows out the back. But again, this looks a little strong. Well, that was an interesting little chisel. The angles still don't look bad for Colton Flasch. Hard for the Hartung team to make any of the reds go away. It does look like Flasch right now sitting second and third. So Kody Hartung going to ask brother Tyler, throw some heat here. He's going to move a lot of granite. Knows he's probably going to lose one or two of his own, but that lineup of reds, just too dangerous right now. He's got to do something with it. Might be able to kill as many as two of them. Don't think the third one goes anywhere. Actually only managed to kill one. The two that are remaining there, shot and second shot, are open. And at least for Kody Hartung now, there's a way to get those stones out. Colton Flasch, patient as always, going to play the corner freeze on the yellow. First stone here of this second end for Catlin Schneider. Would like to just sit on the corner of that yellow stone. Really doesn't want to bounce off. And puts it right on the spot where Colton tapped the ice. There is a double there on the reds for Tyler, but it's tough. You can just barely see enough of the first red stone he's got to hit. And boy, if you ever got tight on this and hit the one that Catlin Schneider just threw, you could leave them sitting three. On the other side, if you're a little bit outside like that, you don't get the first stone. Shooter does stay there, so Hartung sitting second and third. Colton Flasch looking at can we get just a shade to the inside of the yellow so that we roll the edge of our rock underneath our own at the top of the 8-foot. And it's still, I think the yellow red in the house are touching. If they're not touching, it's very close. So that red stone at the top of the button should still move over just a little bit. Even if you just nose hit that yellow, again, not going to throw a lot of weight at it. They just want to rub the red stone over a little bit. But there is room to get just to the inside of that yellow stone. If you can roll a little bit underneath your own and still rub that red further under cover, Kody Hartung's not going to have direct access to any red stone to remove it. The only downside, if you want to call it that, to a shot like this is if you do happen to over curl and catch your own at the top of the 8-foot with the weight you're throwing, it's not going to have enough weight to kill the yellow stone that's behind it. A great chance here for the Flash team early in this game after giving up a deuce in the first. Alan Schneider can make the hit in a little bit of a roll, and he's close. This could set up something for the Flasch team. Oh, needed just a little bit more curl to get the shooter underneath, but rubs their own stone nicely over to sit shot third and fourth right now, and no real doubles available. Does have a path he could get at shot rock, but hard to hold his shooter. Kody appears to be looking at where would he end up if he just makes a hit on the open stone, which is currently third. He'd be fourth, but could he get in the way of Colton Flasch's attempt at the red-yellow? Might be able to. Doesn't even hurt him if he gets a little bit to the inside of that red. Roll over just a little bit and nudge the red-yellow combination, because that angle's not good for Kody Hartung right now. If he could move it a couple of inches, maybe he changes the angle. Looks like that's the call anyway. Hitting the one stone that they have direct access to the nose of it anyway. Kind of looking to do the same thing Colton Schneider was trying to do, I believe. Just get to the inside of that a little bit. Now, he can't roll under the red, but if he nudges the red, that should be enough to move that yellow up a little bit. He won't necessarily be able to get shot rock, but just to break up the angle on that red-yellow, because right now, Colton Schneider can make that yellow go away anytime he wants. Makes the hit, but actually a little bit on the outside. Still leaves, I guess we're on to Colton Flasch's rocks now, still leaves Colton Flasch room to get at the red-yellow combination. Certainly has room to sit two. If you wanted to sit three right now, you probably have to throw it with enough weight that your shooter comes across and kills the one that, so hit it just off the center. And have your shooter kill the one that Kody Hartung just threw. Now you'll leave a double. The scary thing is, would you leave it? Is there a chance you could leave a triple? And it's hard to know exactly how those rocks are going to splash. The other possibility, and again, we don't have mics on the players, so we're speculating a little bit on what they're talking about, but it's also possible he could hit the yellow just beside the broom first, hit it thin, have the shooter come into the red, that yellow's still going out the back, and then the shooter may spin up in behind that guard a little better and change the angles. Colton Flasch trailing by two, his first stone here of this second end. Chance to sit three off this. Clips the yellow, comes across, catches the other one, and the shooter does spin up. So sits three for the time being. There is a double. Kody Hartung has a chance. He could play the out slightly on the outside of the stone in the 8-foot, drive it at the stone in the back four. But even if he makes that double, his shooter's got to roll open. Colton Flasch is going to have an opportunity for at least two here. And that's assuming Kody Hartung makes the double. If he doesn't make the double, it's a chance for three. Not a lot of room between these rocks. Kody Hartung, excellent hitter. You have to expect he's going to be close here. Can't imagine he doesn't make contact with the second one. I guess the concern you'd have, you don't want to jam it. Makes the hit, catches the second stone. Actually, almost got unfortunate with a jam on a stone just outside the rings, but it still spins back. Shooter rolled out of play as well, so Colton Flasch sitting one. And with his final stone, just needs a piece of the rings anywhere. This is the draw path that he had for the pregame draw to the button. He had 4 foot in it, just wasn't quite good enough to get last rock in the first end, but he'd take that same shot right now to tie the game up. Solid end from the Flasch team. Just need paint here to finish it off, pick up their deuce. Picked up the brush early, but really not going full steam, just a firm clean most of the way down. They'll put it right on the top of the button for the skipper. They do pick up their 2 points, and after 2 ends of play, it's 2 apiece. Kody Hartung with last rock once again in the third.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, Bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Sean Joyce with you here live, third end underway. IG Wealth Management, Western Showdown. B qualifying action. Kody Hartung, Colton Flasch, all tied at 2. Hartung again with last rock here as we begin the third. Daniel Marsh throwing up the center guard with his first. Brady Kendall being asked to come around it. Lots of room by the guard, so sweeping from the offside, coming in, trying to bury as much as they can. Gets probably a quarter underneath the guard. Colton Flasch looked at coming down, sitting on the inside of it. Then because it was so high, I looked at coming around the other way. I think the hack end liked the first shot. So that's what they're going to play. Puts it right on the face of that yellow stone. Hartung sitting one, now going to play to the corner. Brushes were on this one early as well. Would like to be close to the tee line here. You don't want to be up too high, leave the chance to hit and roll behind center. Nice job by the brushers. You get that close to the tee line now. If the Flasch team is able to make the roll all the way back to the center line, they're probably behind the tee. Colton Flasch, of course, aware of that angle as well. So icing it to play a little bit more weight, and with the turn, it'll get the flatter roll. With that little bit more weight, it doesn't do anything though. Stays right there. He'll get the nose hit. Hartung sitting 1 right now. And they'll look to hit and try to stay right there. They'd like to keep the play away from center for now. Inside brusher has been on this all the way down. Good job on the brush by Brady. Kendall holds the line, stays right there. Hartung sitting 2. High enough now, though, for Kevin Marsh. If he can make the roll to the center line, he will be in front of the tee line. Looking for the roll, but they don't want to roll all the way out. He's got to make contact with this stone. He'll rub it enough to remove the stone from play, but his shooter rolls all the way across and out the back as well. Kody Hartung looking for another draw to that side, and you see him tapping the ice. He actually wants it a little deeper still. Rocks width probably behind the tee line would be good. Brushers pick this one up right away. Can be a little bit interesting when you're trying to draw the back of the tee. It's just not something that's in your normal mindset. So brushers were on it to get it as deep as they could. Once again, it's going to be about a rock's width in front of the tee line. Colton's first thought was to again play the hit and roll. He looked at the red-yellow combination in the middle. He can play that anytime he'd like. He's not going to get shot rock off of it. Gets a roll to the edge of the 4-foot, but still out in the open. It is shot rock. Kody Hartung asking Tyler now to roll back to the open side. Makes the hit, but the shooter's going to roll too far out of the rings. So this is an opportunity here for Colton Flasch to make a play on those 2 stones near the center line. He'll look to kill the back yellow one. The key here is to be sitting 2. Really not in a great steal situation just yet, but sit 2 right now certainly would give you the opportunity to get the force here in end number 3. On the brush, right out of the hand for Catlin Schneider. soon as you buy the front one, they'll switch up the sides, trying to get that last little bit of curl. Makes the hit, kills the yellow. Shooter does roll over, and there's probably a double available. They had to make sure they were by at the very last moment. Once they were by, tried to sweep for the last little bit of curl, hoping they could keep the two stones in line, but rolls off just enough to leave a double. Stone right behind the broom, just a little bit higher. You're probably going to hit it first. Ideally, even if you could hit the other one first, it'll kick this one out the side, but you can't see all of the other rock. Tyler Hartung, big weight. Looking for some curl now. If they're going to hit the higher one first, they got to hit it a little bit thinner. Catches it enough to get both rocks to go away, but spins all the way out the top of the house and to the divider. Skip rocks left to come, just the one center guard, and a chance now for Colton Flasch to bury one top button and see if he can't set up a steal here. Once again, they were on the brush early. Love to get this into the top of the 4-foot somewhere, but it will come to rest. Full 8. Maybe a sliver still exposed. Decision time for Kody Hartung. I mean, you might be able to go after that stone. Certainly there's enough finish on this ice, but it is touchy. Very good at the runbacks. You could play that as well. Or do you come around everything? And if you do, Tyler Hartung's first thought was play the in turn around everything, but it looks a little more natural to play the out. The out turn draw is what Kody Hartung played twice in the first end, although neither one of them would have been down this exact same path. No mics on the players, of course, so they did call down to the other end talking about the options. I don't know if they asked how much they could see here, but this is usually one of those shots where you take a look at this, you call down to the other end, and the lead calls down, oh yeah, you can see half. It can't look great from the hacks. You can't see a lot of it, but by this point in the weekend, they've played 3-4 games, depending the path they've had to go through to get here, and they know that these rocks finish hard. If you can see a sliver of it, you can probably hit half. Hard on the brush to get by. Once they're by the guard, they'll probably switch the sweep. Takes the hit and hits enough of it to keep his shooter in play. That's a great shot by Kody Hartung. Colton Flasch will have to make a play on the shot that was just delivered. Pretty hard to get it dead buried. I mean, you can do it. It's possible, but really tough. And if you leave any piece, Kody Hartung will have a shot for the blank. Colton Flasch, knowing there's going to be a shot there for the blank, likely to play pretty aggressively for the roll here. He's got big weight. Can hit this fairly full and still get a big roll. Callan Schneider ready with the brush. They will get a piece in behind cover, but Kody Hartung can see a little more now than he could on the last attempt. Certainly more than he needs to hit to make the blank. Final stone here, end number 3. Kody Hartung facing one, looking for the blank. Well, pick up the offside sweep to get a little extra curl. Catches a very thin piece of it, but with that big weight, plenty of contact to make that rock go out the side. A few little head shakes and smiles, but it's a blank. Still tied 2-2. It'll be Hartung with last rock once again in the 4th.
The roaring game. We all love it, but sometimes curling just isn't as fun as it can be on the Nintendo Switch. Don't get stuck in your curling club this year. Learn the game inside and out. Play for your favorite country and take the curling world by storm. With up to 4 players per console, you can enjoy curling with your friends and family anywhere, anytime. Let's play curling. Available now only on Nintendo Switch.
Had some questions about if our houses are painted or are they logo. Our events are always painted houses, but in the future coming out, I'm pretty sure we're going to be going to all logo houses. They're a great revenue source for any curling club. You can get your advertisements on there, and usually after the first year, the houses are paid for. It's all free money for you. So hopefully check Jet Ice out for your future in-house logo.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, Bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
First stone here, the 4th end. Colton Flasch asking Daniel Marsh for the tight center guard. Kody Hartung will ask Brady Kendall to come around it. Thought we might see actually Kody play a corner guard here. You do see teams with last rock in the even ends, sometimes a little bit more willing to play aggressively to try to score their deuce. Sweepers have backed away from this. Definitely wants it to stop in front of the tee line if they can. We'll go right to the button, covers the pin a little bit more towards the back end of the pin. Daniel Marsh will try to follow that down, sit right on the face of it. Not critical that he moves it at this point in time. Moves it about an inch. He's probably shot rock. Pressure's really having to work for the line on this one. Starting to curl hard. He's going to curl by it just a hair. No. Boy, I thought the way that was finishing up, he might have been, well, if he's right to the button, he's probably right at the face, but leaves himself a bit of an angle. Brady Kendall will try to follow it down one more time. Always fun to watch these teams try to jockey for position in the house. Looking for an angle. Everybody wants one good angle, and then once you've got it, you can play runbacks anytime you feel like. Well, Brady with that one taps the red up, moves the yellow. It's definitely red that's shot rock right now, and really the angles aren't great for Kody Hartung either. Colton Flasch was actually looking at throwing a second guard. It wouldn't be a bad call. I think what convinced him to come in, though, is you don't want Kody Hartung to have the chance to come in next and have two yellows in a line in front of your red. As long as you keep them alternating. When the angles are played, Kody Hartung probably can't sit any more than one. Colton Flasch coming out to help the brush on this one. Going to come up a little bit short. It does protect the two in the rings, but the two guards now very close together. Kody Hartung looking at the double peel. Might be able to keep the shooter around for a corner guard as well. Needs to hit the first one just a little bit on the high side. Aaron Shutra. Out turn for the lefty. Makes the hit, but actually right on the nose. Will make the double peel, but his shooter stays for a guard. And again, Colton Flasch looking at the two choices are come right in or throw a really high guard in line with that yellow. And again, opting to come right in. Kevin Marsh a little light on his last one now. That one looked like he might have been a little in out on the release. Starting to curl now. I think he's okay. Boy, that moved hard on them. And really perhaps a little casual on the sweep. He actually curls past the nose. Sits on the corner of the yellow all the way out the other side of the guard. The nice thing for Colton Flasch is he's left himself angle where he actually could remove that yellow if he needed to. Kody Hartung not liking any of the angles, still looking at peeling the guard. And I think peeling it towards the red that was just thrown. Nope, looks like he's trying to peel it towards his own yellow. Wouldn't mind making contact with something in the house right now. All the angles right now really favoring Colton Flasch in the house. Makes the peel, leaves the shooter for a corner guard, but drives the raise stone by everything in the house. So the indication from Colton Flasch is it's the yellow one we need to protect. Kody Hartung doesn't really have much off the red in the 8-foot. Right now, to get that red off the top of the button, probably going to take two shots for Kody Hartung. He needs to jam the yellow onto the red, kill the back yellow. That's just to create a way for that redstone to escape. So guarding the yellow so he can't make it on the first one. He's got access to the red stone, but all he can really do with that is kill his own yellow. If you're going to try to play it as a run through now, you're running a red stone back, and to make the shot you need to make, you're running it pretty much straight back. You're going to leave the shooter as a guard and might leave the raised stone in the rings as well. Not much choice, though. He's got to try to move something out of that 4-foot area just to have something, a chance to score later in the end. Tyler Hartung, another run back attempt. Rusher staying close, makes the hit, runs it back, catches both the stones at the top of the 8-foot, and will kill the one at the back 4. It is Flasch sitting 1 right now, but still behind cover. Shooter had to stay right there. There was no other way to make contact in the rocks in the rings. Flasch looking to bring another one right into the top of that yellow stone. Callan Schneider on the intern now. Brushers had to wait for this to start to curl. Really moving now. Had to wait at the halfway point for that to start to curl. They needed to get a piece under the cover, and comes to rest maybe a quarter under the guard, just biting the top of the 8-foot. Enough that it takes away the yellow run back onto second shot stone. You could probably play the one that Catlin just delivered slightly over the top on the yellow. Yellow onto red. You might be able to kill both yellows. Hard to keep the shooter likely. They're going to give it a go to keep the shooter, though. Have to throw it a little bit more quietly to do that. Probably looking to hit 2/3 here, I'd say. Thick half. Tyler Hartung, big weight run back on his first. Going to have to play a little more finesse if he wants to hold the shooter on this one. Rush has been off and on now, looking for that last little bit of curl. Makes contact, but drives it by the top of the yellow and the 4-foot. The shooter will roll out of play. Colton Flasch now looking at maybe putting this one up a little bit higher. Callan Schneider still like the freeze attempt on the yellow. Discussed a number of different options. It does look like they have decided to come right into the rings. You're going to get right down to the yellow. You probably want to stay just slightly on the corner so that you don't leave a piece of the back one for Kody Hartung to pick it out. Brusher's just cleaning early. Looks like they're waiting for the line call. It's usually a sign the weight's close. Starting to curl now. We know coming into the house, these rocks will really move. They pick up the brush at about the halfway guard point. And ends up mostly in the 8-foot. And it looks like just fully open. Don't think he managed to get any piece of that under the guard. So really two choices here for Kody Hartung. You could play a similar type shot, red onto the yellow. Oh, they're even looking at a third option. Can he get to the inside of that red, drive it by the yellow, make the double on the reds? That's a possibility. You could run the guard back now too. You run it back onto the yellow stone, you'd be sitting 2. If you're just a little bit high, you run it back onto the red stone that was just delivered. You could be sitting 2nd and 3rd and get your shooter out of the way. I think they've discussed all the options. Now, really, it comes down to which one does Kody want to throw. Looks like they're going to play the yellow back on a bit of an angle. I saw him indicate that he'd play for the rollover. So looks like the plan A here is to drive this guard onto the stone that Colton Flasch just threw. Still a chance if he hits it like that, he actually could drive the one red onto the back red as well. Even if you drive it by, though, your shooter's going to roll off center line a little bit. You'll have 2nd and 3rd. And you should have access to those 2 stones in the 4-foot. Kody Hartung with his first stone here, tied up as we play the 4th. Looking for the run back. Makes the run. Catches that one a little bit thin and rolls the raised stone out as well. But now you can see that yellow-red combination in the middle is exposed. And if Colton Flasch simply guards it, Kody Hartung still has that rock to run back. Mentioned off the top, these two teams know each other very well. Both very strong hitting teams, very good at the runbacks. Colton Flasch knows that. And it's all about that respect. He knows that Kody Hartung's got that run back to play. So you can't just straight guard this. If you come in too far, you leave him a chance for the double. So I think what they've settled on, try to get the guard maybe even nibbling the top of the 12-foot. You don't want to be full 12. That would give him the double opportunity. Nibble the top of the 12, enough to cut off the run back as well. The guard is not just an area play against a team that can play run backs like this Hartung team can. Once that starts to curl, the brushers pick it up. They want to get tight to the rings here, have to get under the yellow enough to take away the run back. I don't know that they're going to take the run back away. He does take away the direct path. The run back's the only shot he's got. He can't hurt himself. Didn't see a lot of discussion. Of course, that's not an uncommon thing. The Hartung brothers know each other so well. The question I would have here is just how hard does he want to throw this? I would think he's going to throw this a little quieter than he threw the last one. Well, I would have thought that until they put the broom down. Ideally, if you're going to make it, you'd love to stick the raised stone, get your deuce, but as long as you make contact, you've got one. Nothing out of the brushers yet. Now looking for a little extra curl. Drives it by everything, and it'll be a steal of one for Colton Flasch. He'll take a 3-2 lead after the 4th end, and it'll be Hartung with last rock once again in the 5th.
We're for agriculture. For growers, doers, whatever it takers. We're for doing things with purpose. We're for the little guy with big guy dreams. We're for agriculture. We're for you. Nutrien Ag Solutions, leading the field.
Saskatchewan, you know SaskTel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With SaskTel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. SaskTel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorships.
Still a 1 for Colton Flasch in the fourth end, gives them the 1-point lead as we begin play in the fifth end here. And again, Daniel Marsh being asked to throw the center guard. Kody Hartung asking Brady Kendall again to come around it. Maybe a little deep on the one in the last end. This one's going to come up a little bit short, and I'm not sure if he made the rings. It's close. They're wondering about the biter stick, which to me means that Colton Flasch thinking about playing the red onto the yellow. I don't think he'd ever try to pick it out clean. I think he'd want to keep two rocks in play. So if he's thinking about hitting the yellow, I think probably going to play the red onto the yellow. But this is the one situation in the free guard zone rule where you're allowed to measure during an end. If Kody was simply going to agree that it was in, you could just hit it. So I think the indication there from Colton Flasch is that it is in the rings. And if that's the case, he does have the option to remove it from play. Nope, he says it's out. So Daniel Marsh being asked to come around from the intern side. Brings it into the top of the 4 foot. It is shot rock. Brady Kendall now being asked to follow it down, sit on the corner of it. Room by the front one. Comes down, does sit right on the face of that red stone, moves it up maybe an inch or two. Kevin Marsh now to follow that down again. Looked like Daniel wanted to get a brush down right away, and they maybe called it off, so this might be a little bit on the outside. Now starting to curl. When it does, they pick up the brush, but Daniel Marsh swinging around to the other side anyway, still looking for some extra curl. You can see with where that ended up, just biting the top of the 8-foot. Dan knew what he was talking about. They needed to brush a little bit for weight, but they had to wait for the line. Needed to get a piece of that at least under cover. Ends up in a pretty good spot. Kody Hartung now looking to make a play on the Yellowstone just outside the top of the 12-foot. Angle it onto the stone that was just thrown. If you were really greedy here, you might even try to roll the shooter into the rings. Well, this one's taking off early. Maybe a little bit of a soft release there. This is going to be all over the front. Quiet weight saves him a little bit in that he doesn't kill his own stone, but promoted it to a bad spot because there's probably a double available on the yellows, and then it might be 3 reds in a line all behind cover. So look from the overhead, and no, that stone didn't spin into the ring. Still a little bit of white there. You play the run back, you're only playing to kill one. You can't make the double, but you could sit shot rock. You could just play, and that's what he's looking at now, the nose hit on the stone in the 12-foot. Forget about the double, but make sure you keep a rock in the rings. Probably also high enough in the rings if you made the direct play onto the stone in the 12-foot. Another nose hit wouldn't be in, and it looks like what he's playing now is the run on a bit of an angle, so the yellow onto the red in the 12-foot, so that you roll your shooter off the center line. Tyler Hartung. Still fairly big weight on this run. He'd like to hold the run back stone if he could. Makes the hit, clips it, but with that big weight, rolls the raised stone all the way across and out of play. Does get the guard off the center line. Colton Flasch looking at can they come down, play just enough weight to move that stone back and get their shooter partly under the guard. Well, now looking at, do we do it and move it big? Move it back 8 and try to get the shooter all the way under? The other option, you just try to move it a couple of feet and roll about half under the guard, kind of Christmas tree them. Brushers are staying close, but they need this rock to curl. Now sweeping from the offside for the curl. Once it starts to move, they just worried about the weight. He's going to get the tap. That's closer to the first shot I thought they were looking at. Get the shooter about half under the guard. The shot stone at the top of the 4-foot is open, but there's only about an inch of air. It'd be tough to roll behind with that. So Kody Hartung again looking for brother Tyler to play the run back. They play these so well as a rule. There's a chance here that he could make the run double and stay buried. Sweep call's been off and on. He's close. Well, I think they just misjudged that, or maybe expected some finish that just isn't there with that kind of weight. They were on the brush a couple of times, but drives it by everything in the rings, loses the shooter. If you're Colton Flasch right now, the biggest thing you've got to worry about is how do we not let him have the chance for the blank? There is a double available right now on the 2 reds if you don't throw. If you guard the high one, he's still got the option to make a play on the shot stone. If you come in too tight on the guard, you might leave him an over-the-top triple. I think you have to play some kind of guard there because not only is there a double there, but it's probably a double and roll behind the corner. So you can't just lob another one into the rings somewhere. He makes the double, rolls behind the corner, and you're still in danger of giving up 2. I do the best I can, ladies and gentlemen, but sometimes I'm not even sure that the conversation, that last little bit of it, it's without the mics on the players, it can sometimes be hard to know what it is that they're looking at. I'm sure it's all about what's left for Kody Hartung as far as angles. So all the discussion here is about just where exactly do you want to put this guard for line. It's not even the depth necessarily as much as just exactly where do you want this to line up. There's 2 rocks in the house. You can't dead guard both of them. So he's pretty much dead guarded the higher one. That's the one that there would be a double available off of. Kody Hartung does have direct access to shot stone now, but there's only about an inch of air. Hard to roll under cover with that. And even if you left half that stone exposed, that would be enough that Colton Flasch could probably still make a play on it. And with the guard that he just threw, I don't know that Kody Hartung will have a chance to blank this end. That ice looks like they're going to throw this fairly quietly. They'll be looking to have some movement on this stone as it comes into the house and see if they can get across it enough to maybe bury half or better. As soon as they're sure it's by, they'll switch the sweep to the offside, looking for some extra curl. Gets the hit, but really doesn't roll anything underneath at all. Colton Flasch now with his final stone will have a chance to make the hit on that stone. I think if he hits on the nose, Kody Hartung could nose it again and be shot rock. So they're going to look to roll towards the corner, perhaps force Kody Hartung into a decision. Do you want to draw or do you want to hit? These are always the fun ones to see. It would be nice to hear the teams explain it as well. There's always that cutoff point when you're playing a roll like this. If we roll full 8 foot, he's still going to hit it. If we roll 6 inches farther, does he draw? And you're always trying to find that cutoff point. Where do you roll? Where's the exact spot you want to put it so that you can put 2 shots into Kody Hartung's mind? Because anytime you can create that little bit of doubt, sometimes that's what you need to get the mistake. In the end, Colton Flasch a little thin on the contact. His shooter rolls all the way out of play. But because of how well he made the guard on the first one, no opportunity for the blank for Kody Hartung. No matter how hard he looks at it, no opportunity for the blank. So he's going to play the draw. Final stone for Kody Hartung here in the 5th end, trailing by 1, facing 1. Made this same draw in the first end to pick up his deuce. Put it right on the button in the first end. Just needs full 8 foot here. Pressure's bringing it all the way in, and they will bring it full 8, almost biting the 4. Put the single point on the board for Kody Hartung. We're tied up once again, and it will be Colton Flasch with last rock when we come back for the 6th.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
SaskTel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? SaskTel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
Sean Joyce with you here live from Swift Current, the IG Wealth Management Western Showdown. B-event qualifiers across 3 sheets here on Saturday evening. 2 teams already through. 3 more will be determined tonight to the playoffs beginning 7 o'clock tomorrow night. And the final 3 playoff teams will be determined at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. There is a draw at 10 a.m. as well. I want to thank everybody who's been with us all weekend long for all of the action, and hope you'll continue to join us. A lot of great action still to come here in our matchup, all tied up after 5 ends of play. And as we begin play in the 6th, it's Colton Flasch with last rock. The Hartung team with the center guard, and the attempted come around overcurled a little bit light. They end up with another center guard out of it. Kody Hartung looking for the come around. Brady Kendall puts it on the top of the button. Daniel Marsh now being asked to come around from the intern side. With enough weight to tap it, but not able to get it all the way through the rings. It hangs on the back of the 12-foot. Colton Flasch sitting shot rock corner of the 4-foot right now. And Aaron Schutra looking to come around and put another one in behind cover. Try to get shot rock right now. They'll ignore that flash stone on the edge of the 4-foot. Room by the guards. Now making its move. I was talking about in an earlier broadcast today. A lot of times with these stones, they're conditioned before the event starts. You'll see them very aggressive at the start of the event. As the games progress, they'll straighten out a little bit, and that's not to say that they won't curl, but you won't see quite as pronounced finish. Here we are, we're 7 draws in, and still big finish on those stones coming into the house. Kevin Marsh being asked to clean things up on that center line a little bit. Makes the double peel, but his shooter will stay right there. So still 1 guard. Stone at the top of the 8-foot is partially exposed now. Kody Hartung does have access. Of course, there's no guard in the way to make a play on shot rock. But looking to protect second shot rock, and this is all about, again, these teams know each other very well. There's a lot of respect for the ability of both of these teams to make a lot of granite move in a short period of time. Kody knows if they start hitting this early in the end, those yellows will disappear. Makes for some interesting curling to watch. Teams have to take a few more chances when you know that the opposition can remove your rocks 2 or 3 at a time. Looking for the guard here, and I think he wants to get a corner of it underneath that longer red guard just so that there's no straight run back available. Probably left room, I would think. If Colton Flasch wants to play it, he could play the direct yellow onto yellow. I think his first thought was to play the red over the top. That's a good call too. But I think he settles on the run back on the guard that was just thrown, slightly over the top of the one at the top of the 8-foot, and try to kill 2 yellows here. Kevin Marsh catches it. A little unfortunate that he also catches his own, but spills it to the back of the 12-foot. So just the one guard now belonging to Colton Flasch, a few inches off the center line, and Kody Hartung sitting the 2 stones at the back of the 12-foot. Flasch with last rock here as we play in the 6th. Probably not looking for a blank. He'd like the chance to score 2, but wanted the chance to score the 2 without taking too much risk here. And now that he's definitely going to have the entire intern side of the sheet, you may see him try to set up his deuce now. The guard does belong to the Flasch team. It's a rock they could always run back if they had to. And if Hartung's going to bury anything, the button's always going to be available. The brushers have backed away from this one. Definitely wanted to stay in front of the tee line here. This is going to slide a little bit deep. Well, that gives an opportunity to the Flasch team to start to set up a deuce here. Looking at, do we come right down to this, or do we just try to bury top of the house somewhere? Looks like they're going to try to come down to the back stone, and maybe with that ice looking to come down with enough weight to move it back. They're already starting to create a bit of a wall at the back of the 12-foot. Callan Schneider got lots of room by the guard, so they're sweeping from the offside now, trying to get a little extra curl. Really moving as it comes into the house. Wow, with that weight, you look at how much he got by the guard by, and he gets to the nose, pushes it by the 2 stones in the back. Flasch sitting shot rock back 4. Same shot probably available to the Hartung team, but again, they're looking to force here, and you want to shrink the scoring area. So you play this as a freeze now. It'll take 2 shots for Colton Flasch to get this one out. You really shrink the rings here. They would have loved to have swept that a little bit to get the curl, but it was already a little deep. As it is, you can see the angle, especially from the overhead. That yellow-red is lined up to go into the 2 yellows at the back. Callan Schneider could throw a shot very similar to what he just threw. Hit the yellow on the nose, maybe even get to the inside. The red's going to go back to the yellows at the back. The shooter might stay under cover. The frozen Yellowstone squirts out into the open. It's not going to go very far, but Flasch could be sitting shot and 3rd after this, and shot might be buried, splitting the tee line. Again, lots of room by the guard, sweeping for the curl. Really moving again as it comes into the house. Makes the hit, does. push that red stone back onto the 2 yellows, and I can't tell who's got shot rock. Certainly not Will. There were still heads in the way. It's close. It's very close. The angle works really well for Colton Flasch right now too, because if Kody Hartung was ever to just straight guard it, Colton has the run back on his own guard that would be for 3. So Cody's going to have to come down, sit on top of that. And you have to be real careful not to leave angle where Colton Flasch might be able to kill all 3 yellows. Or, pardon me, the 2 yellows and leave the red in the middle. Doesn't matter how big I blow that up. It's tough to tell who's got shot rock. But if I was betting on it right now, I might say Colton Flasch. Still, Kody Hartung, okay if he gets a force here. So just looking to freeze on that. He wouldn't mind nudging it a little bit just to clear the back yellow one if he could, but he's got to get the line first. That's the most important thing. And they jumped this right out of his hand. And they have not left it. It's going to be a little bit short. It'll act as a straight guard. But with the amount of curl that we've seen there, Colton Flasch might be able to get to it with just a back 4-foot draw. Wouldn't be able to tap it far enough to sit 3, but you could definitely move it far enough to sit 2. The other option, and I don't know that he'd play it necessarily on his first shot, but if it was his last one, he might. You do have the straight back run back on your own stone. And if you could ever just absolutely dead nut it, you'd be sitting 3. The reason you might not play it on the first one, though, is if you hit it just off the center, drive it by everything, you may not even have a shot for 2. Still hard to say who's actually got shot rock. And I think the longer they look at it, the more they talk about it, they're thinking it might be easier to get to that red stone with the out turn. Certainly the thing about playing it from the out turn, even if you don't get quite to the face of your own stone, if you just chisel it a little bit sideways from this out turn side, you're chiseling it sideways towards the pinhole onto that yellow stone. If you happen to do it from the other side and you're a little thin on the red, you're pushing it away from the button. You might leave the yellowish shot rock at the back. Lots of curl from both sides. It will go, but it's a situation where if you only get to half of it, you got a better chance of sitting 2 coming from this direction and only getting to half of that stone. Rusher's just waiting on it to start to curl. Now moving. Has to get by the guard. Now the question also is, does it have the weight? Well, it's not going to get by. Enough sweep on that to get it out of the way. Now they do have a direct path to the redstone, and that would leave a shot for 3 if Kody Hartung just leaves that alone. So he's going to have to do something over there. Do you just straight guard it? You straight guard it. Colton Flasch has a couple of different rocks he could run in. A lot of times when you're looking at a situation like this, you'll see a team look at, okay, well, where can we put the guard that we take away the direct path and the run in? Well, in this case, Colton Flasch has, from the overhead, you can see the guard just off the center line. He could run that in. And from the shot from the hack end, you can see that the guard right behind Aaron Shutre, he could run that in as well. So one on either side. You can't take away both of those and the direct path to that, what I think is shot stone at the top of the button. You almost might be forced here if you're Kody Hartung to come and try to sit right in front of the yellow. And that's a little dangerous too, because you might just cue it up. I think he's opting for the guard with that much ice, and he's going to force Colton Flasch to play the run back. Really matters who shot rock here, but I think it might be Colton Flasch. So he's pretty risk-free playing the run back, especially if he can throw it on the one from the right-hand side. He's either going to get, if he makes any contact at all, the yellow's going to go. Probably for 2 minimum and 3 if he hits it perfect. If he doesn't make contact with the stones in the house at all, he's still going to have his 1. There's a little more risk if he has to play the one on the other side. There's a way to throw that where he could actually pick the red off the top of the button. Brusher's just cleaning this. Just playing the straight guard in the port. So that's the guard made. Colton Flasch decision is already made. If he didn't take away the run back, I think he was always playing this angle, because you can see the top of the button, they're angled in line, same line as this guard's going to have to come in. So you can never pick your own off the top of the button coming from this side. If you make contact with the stone at the top of the forefoot at all, I have to think you're getting at least 2. And if you stick it, it's for 3. And in a tie game, even 2 would be huge. We still don't know for sure who's got shot rock. I haven't seen either of the teams really indicate who they thought was shot. Could come down to a measurement. Colton Flasch can make the run. It makes it a moot point. On the brush early. Off and on. He's close. Drives it back. Does make contact with that quiet weight. Sticks the run stone as well. So put 3 points on the board for Colton Flasch. He doubles his total here after 6 ends of play. That's a 6-3 lead for Flasch, and Hartung with last rock in the 7th.
The roaring game. We all love it, but sometimes curling just isn't as fun as it can be on the Nintendo Switch. Don't get stuck in your curling club this year. Learn the game inside and out. Play for your favorite country and take the curling world by storm. With up to 4 players per console, you can enjoy curling with your friends and family anywhere, anytime. Let's play curling. Available now only on Nintendo Switch.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, Bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Big 3 points for Colton Flasch after the angle run-in. Probably a little bit of a sick feeling for Kody Hartung too, and he knew. We've talked about it. I've talked about it through much of this game. It's always interesting to watch these teams jockey for position in the house, trying to set up angles that they can use. Kody Hartung knew that angle was there in the house. There were 2 runbacks available. The only thing I think Kody might have been able to do differently is instead of playing the straight guard with his last one, if he brings it into the top 8 foot, maybe even close to the 4, at worst, it's probably a deuce then. But, you know, Colton Flasch had direct access to the stones in the 4 foot, and he had 2 runbacks. Kody Hartung can't take them all away with one shot. Guarded the easiest of the shots. Colton Flasch made the run back, and it's a 3-point lead. They bring their first 2 stones into the rings here in the 7th inning, and Kody Hartung, they've got the long corner guard up, and they're going to opt to throw the second corner guard on the same side. You do see a number of teams have started to play it this way when they play the 2 corner guards. There's still the more traditional way where you split the rings, play 1 corner guard to either side, but with these aggressive rocks where you want to make sure you've still got a path to the middle, you throw corner guards on opposite sides of the house, and sometimes they're both in the way of the draw to the button. So you'll see teams play this on occasion where they throw the 2 corner guards to the same side of the house, long and tight, much the same as they do in the center. This is a shot you don't see as much. You have seen it a lot with, if you've been watching some of the Flash games when they were available on Curling Stadium. They play this shot a lot with Daniel Marsh, and it is a shot that you see played a lot more commonly in doubles play. You see it in the power play in the mixed doubles, where they'll play the tick to try to move the guard into the rings so that you can hit it later on. In this case, Kevin Marsh moves it over just a little bit, leaves staggered corners. I'm not sure they'd be happy with that result. The first 2 rocks at the end, the 2 that they brought into the rings, they didn't get those dead lined up on the center line and didn't get a piece of the 4 foot. Had they done that, they might have thrown a guard of their own right there and forced Kody Hartung to do some work to clean that up. They weren't able to do that. Tried to make the tick on the guard. Didn't exactly work out. So he's left 2 guards. Aaron Shutra will look to come around. You'd love to have this curl enough to actually bury behind the tighter of those 2 guards. He's actually going to come up short of the rings, though. And that leaves a chance for the double and perhaps even the triple peel if Kevin Marsh hits this right. And he can certainly throw it hard enough. You drive the first one across the top of the second one. If you chisel it back, you might be able to make all 3 yellows move here. Might end up jamming onto something in the rings when you do that, but you're 3 points up and you're totally fine killing one of your own stones if you could have moved 3 guards. Instead, drives it over the top of the second guard, so still 2 corner guards in play. And another chance for Aaron Shutra to try to bring one in back 8 foot behind cover. Little bit of a wobble on the slide there for Aaron. Looks like he recovered well. Brushers had to wait for it to get off the redstone now. They'll try to bring it as far as they can to bury it. That's a really nice draw. Galen Schneider now looking to make a play on the guard that is covering that stone that was just delivered. I'm not sure if they're looking to drive this back. It might be an either or. If you hit it just off the nose, you can run it back and kill the stone that was just delivered. Just like that. Had you hit it farther off the nose, you got the straight peel, you'd have been okay with that too. The nice thing for Kody Hartung here is the shooter rolled over far enough that you've probably got just a slight overlap now. If you could make the come around now, I'm not sure you can see all of that red stone to drive it straight back again. Trailing by 3 as we play here in the 7th. Kody Hartung going to try pretty aggressively to see if he can't generate his deuce at least. And boy, if he could ever generate a miscue out of the Flasch team somehow, you might have a chance for 3, but this is a miscue the other way, a chance to draw to the back of the rings, and that's a little bit too far back of the rings, all the way out the back. Gives the Flasch team a chance to peel the last remaining yellow corner guard. They don't mind leaving their own there. It's a tight guard. They can use it to run back. That was Colton's first call, and I think this might be a question coming from the other end. Do we even need to peel the guard at this point in time? Can we do something with the rocks in the middle? So going through the options.
I like it guarding directly in the middle one. Right? Yeah, you can throw any of them on the side.
And the indication there was that they're going to try to play some kind of a split on their own stone. I have to admit, I'm not sure what they're looking for here. Spread the stones out enough that you can guarantee that there's going to be a force opportunity there, I guess, but leaving the corners in play does give Hartung a chance to try to come around. This has not got enough weight to play any kind of a split. It'll act as a guard. Again, without mics on the players, it's hard to know exactly what they were looking at, but certainly from the way they were gesturing, didn't look like that's what they were playing. Kody Hartung, scoreboard dictated here, might be in a position where he's got to draw around the center, I think. Stone that Catlin Schneider just threw leaves the two center guards, the one he just threw and the stone at the top 12 foot, they're overlapped, so there's no run back available. If you draw to the top of the 4 foot, right in beside that red shot rock, I don't think you want to be behind it at all. Colton will use it to slash in. He's looking at the hit on shot rock. The problem with that is you can't get buried. Could freeze to it. But again, hard to freeze a stone well enough that the Flasch team can't just blast it out. Mind you, you might take that right now. He blasts it out. He's got 3 guards and really a stone in half the 12 foot, which acts as a 4th guard to work with. Brady Kendall coming down to take a look, and he's talking about that's the shot I was looking at. You come around. You've always got access to shot rock. Colton Flasch is not going to turn around and throw a guard on you. Because of the stagger on the guards with where Catlin Schneider just threw, you don't really have access to draw behind the corner anymore. Just my opinion, but to me, I think Kody Hartung is far too worried about that shot stone. You've got staggered center guards right now in a situation where you need to score 2. Brady Kendall, I'm with Brady. Come around, sit right beside that red. Again, you don't want to be behind it. If you're behind it, that would leave a shot for it's Catlin Schneider still has 1 shot left. Nope, we're down to skip stones. So Colton would have a chance to slash that in there. But if you're right beside it, he's got no shot that way. You've still got access to play the shot stone anytime you like. Looks like Brady won the debate. They're going to play the draw. Tyler Hartung. The final of the 3rd stones here for Kody's foursome in the seventh end, looking to try to set up a chance for two. Needs the come around. By the high one, by the one in the 12-foot. Now is it going to stop in time? And no, really it doesn't. Slides right into the button area, and that leaves the short slash for Colton Flasch. Just needed to leave that foot and a half higher. Boy, even 8-10 inches higher, and when that slash is made, it probably has to bounce back out into the open. Might have put that in the worst possible spot, because it's possible. Colton Flasch catches about a quarter of the redstone. He could stuff it, leave it in behind cover with a good chunk of the button. They've picked up the brush. Needs to hit about a quarter of his own stone to stick it. Gets a little bit of a spin, but still mostly behind cover, and he's got a good chunk of the button. Now, based on the way Tyler's last one came in, there's probably room to get to the corner of that stone, play the exact same shot. Even if you nudge it a couple inches just to give yourself room on the outturn side to remove it if you had to. You need to have a path in with your last one too. There is nothing that he can run back. His yellow corner guard, it's a good look at it from the overhead view. There's a red one tighter to the rings. There's just no path to run that yellow into the rings, and he needs to get two here. That redstone that sits on the corner of the button right now, a good look at it from the hacks, not quite half exposed, but you know, if Kody Hartung could come down and nudge it a couple of inches, his shooter would still be dead in behind cover, and he could probably see enough of that rock then, if he had to with his last one, to come down and play it directly. Brusher's waiting for the line. Starting to curl now. He's got a nice line coming in. It's a question, is he going to have enough weight to move it? Well, he's got the weight to move it, and that little bit extra weight. He didn't get the same finish that Tyler did. Nudges the redstone a little farther out into the open, so he does have room, if it's still there, for his last one to make a play on the second shot stone. His shooter does rest for shot, but probably room for Colton Flasch to get in there and move it back. Really doesn't have to kill it. If he moves it back about a foot, he's probably sitting two, and with the yellow behind it, I'm not sure how Kody Hartung is going to be able to make it move. Only thing he has to be careful of is make sure he gets to the nose. If you're on the outside at all, shooter rolls out a little bit, Kody Hartung might have enough room to make the double for two. Again, Colton Flasch not probably looking to make this move very far, just far enough to sit two. And if you do that and roll to the outside at all, Kody Hartung is going to be in that same spot where the double that he'll be attempting, he really only has to move the rocks both outside the 4-foot. They had to wait on the line. He's got room by the front one. Looking for the last bit of curl that they can get now. Makes the tap. Does move it back enough to sit two. Kody Hartung, really the only shot he might have to score might be the red guard on the center line onto the red at the top of the 12-foot, have it come straight back, try to double out the two reds at the top of the button, and spin away. Might be able to see enough of that, actually, the red through the port, to chisel it almost straight sideways into the other one and hope that it spins over the top of your yellow at the back. It's not guaranteed that it spins over, though, and if it catches the yellow at the back of the forefoot, when you're playing this, you're going to lose the shooter. So I think they are looking at the shot that I talked about first, the red guard onto the red in the 12-foot. Try to run it straight back. It's going to have to catch the, if we look from the overhead view, it'll have to catch the red on the right side of the center line first, come across the top of the other red, and then spin out the top of the forefoot just so you can count the one at the back of the four. And if you can do all that, it's just for one, and you're still down two without coming home. Kody Hartung, final stone of the seventh end. A bit of a Hail Mary here. He's close. 1, 2, touches it. Now, is it going to spin enough? If it doesn't, it stays right there. That's as close as you could get to making that shot without doing it. It'll be a steal of one for Colton Flasch, and leading 7-4. Kody Hartung, or pardon me, 7-3. Kody Hartung decides that's enough. It's handshakes. Colton Flasch will move on to the championship round starting tomorrow night at 7 p.m. We will have continued action here from the IG Wealth Management Western Showdown. Tomorrow, there's C event action at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and the last three playoff teams will be determined at the 2 o'clock draw tomorrow afternoon. Quarterfinals tomorrow night, and we will have the semifinals and finals for you on Monday. 9 a.m. for the semis and 1 p.m. final. All of the action available on the SaskTel Curling Stadium, and you can find every game on our YouTube channel. My name is Sean Joyce. I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight, and we will see you again for all the action tomorrow.